Welcome back, guys. I'm looking to reach 1,000 subs. Support me by clicking the subscribe button.
Cristiano Ronaldo showed up to watch Eala in Rome. And what happened next left the entire world speechless. Nobody in the history of sports has ever walked into a tennis stadium and completely stolen the atmosphere from the players on the court. Nobody. That is, until Cristiano Ronaldo strolled through the gates of Rome's legendary Foro Italico on the evening of May 10, 2026, and casually took his seat courtside like he owned the entire city of Rome. And honestly, he kind of does. Because when the greatest footballer to ever lace up a pair of boots decides to show up somewhere unannounced, the world stops spinning for just a moment and pays attention. That is exactly what happened on that warm Sunday evening in Italy. And the story that unfolded afterward is one of the most breathtaking moments in recent sports history. Not because of what happened on the court, though that was spectacular in its own right, but because of what happened after the final point was played. Stick around, because this one is going to give you chills. Let's set the scene properly, because the context here is everything. The 2026 Italian Open at the Foro Italico is one of the most beautiful and storied venues in all of professional tennis. The clay courts of Rome have witnessed legends. Champions have been made and broken on that slow red surface under the Italian sun. And every single year, the world's finest tennis players descend on Rome hoping to etch their names into the history books. This year was no different, except for one extraordinary detail that nobody, absolutely nobody, could have predicted walking in. Eala, the 20-year-old Filipina star ranked in the top 50 in the world, had already done something remarkable before the main event of the evening even began. She had reached the third round of a WTA 1000 clay court event for the very first time in her career. Olympics, let that sink in for a second. 20 years old. First time at this stage on clay at a tournament of this magnitude. She had taken down Poland's Magdalena Frech in a tough three-set battle in the first round, then followed it up with a clean, dominant straight-sets victory over Paris Olympic silver medalist Wang Xinyu in the second round. Tennis 365, the girl was on fire. The girl was locked in. And the girl had the entire Philippine nation watching every single moment with their hearts in their throats. The BNP Paribas Arena that evening was absolutely electric. Filipino flags were everywhere. Fans had traveled incredible distances to be in that stadium, and they were making themselves heard. Chants of Laban Alex, the Filipino battle cry meaning fight, Alex, echoed around the arena with a passion that honestly would have made your skin tingle. This was more than just a tennis match. This was a 20-year-old kid from Manila carrying the hopes and dreams of an entire nation on her young shoulders, stepping out onto the clay to face the most intimidating opponent she had ever encountered in her professional career. That opponent was Elena Rybakina, the world number 2, who had already registered her 29th victory of the 2026 season heading into this match. Inquirer.net, think about what that number means. 29 wins before the Italian Open even reached its third round. Rybakina was operating at a level that was almost unfair. She had claimed her second Grand Slam title just months earlier at the Australian Open, defeating world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka to do it. Phil Star, she was big, powerful, relentless, and coming into this match with an absolutely blistering serve that had been destroying opponents all season long. The task in front of Eala was, by any objective measure, enormous. And then Cristiano Ronaldo walked in. Just like that. No announcement. No fanfare. Security parting quietly around him as he made his way to a courtside seat. Phones came out instantly. Whispers rippled through the crowd like a wave. The 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, the Champions League legend, the man who turned himself from a skinny teenager from the Portuguese island of Madeira into arguably the most famous athlete on the planet Earth, that man had come to Rome not for football, not for business, not for promotional appearance. He had come specifically to watch a 20-year-old Filipina tennis player compete in the third round of the Italian Open. And the atmosphere inside that stadium, which was already at a 10 out of 10, somehow climbed to about a 15. What happened on the court during the 92 minutes that followed was nothing short of a masterclass in competitive spirit from both players. From the very opening game, the match carried an intensity that was almost suffocating. Eala needed 11 points just to hold her first service game. The turning point of the opening set came early, with Rybakina navigating through a tense stretch from the second to fourth games, highlighted by a fiercely contested break in the third game that lasted 13 points alone. ESPN, 13 points. In a single game. These two were not messing around. Eala tried to stay within striking distance through steady baseline exchanges and composed shot-making, but Rybakina's consistency on serve kept her firmly in the driver's seat. The reigning Australian Open champion fired 4 aces in the opening set compared to Eala's 1, while the young Filipina also committed 3 costly double faults, including one during the set's only service break. ESPN, Rybakina took the first set 6-4 after 51 intense minutes, but anyone watching knew that the scoreline was doing absolutely no justice to how hard Eala had made her work for every single point.
Welcome back, guys. I'm looking to reach 1,000 subs. Support me by clicking the subscribe button.